How do I feel about a career change at the age of 30? To be honest, I really don't give a Hi everyone! Welcome back. As you know, my name's Karen and I am trying to transition into UX design, and this is my journey. You've probably noticed that I have a different background this week. I'm actually away in Port Hope visiting some friends, and you'll probably also notice that I look different. It's Canada Day, so happy Canada Day to any Canadians out there. This week's video, I'm not going to cover any technical skills like I did for the last two. I thought that it would be nice to switch over and try and connect more with you guys because I just got my 131st subscriber, which may seem very little to some people, but for me it's actually quite a big deal because it's not something that I'd ever expected, so it's really exciting. I did actually have somebody comment on one of my videos and he said, do you think that 35 and older is too old to transition into this career? And I thought it was interesting that he even asked me this because I was like, hey man, you're only 5 years older than me. I really don't think that it is a topic of concern, and I don't think that we should be self-conscious about it. For me personally, I'm 30 years old, I'm changing into a new field, and I really don't care how old I am. I don't think that it is an issue. As long as you have the skills, the drive, the creativity, it doesn't matter. There's actually a Chinese proverb. It goes something like, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is now. Some people might think like, oh, if I change a career now, I won't be certified till I'm 35, like that's gonna take so long. But if you think about it, 5 years from now, you could either be in a new path, in a new career and be happy with where you are, or you could be in the same position you are now, you're just 5 years older. So the moral of the story here is that age is just a number. You should not let it define you. You shouldn't let it scare you out of doing something new. In fact, you should let your age, your maturity, and your experiences empower you. People change careers all the time, and especially with people in our generation, we're expected to go through like 5 career changes. You know, we're not like our parents where they had one job and they had it for 20, 30, 40 years until they retired. The most common comments that I get on a lot of my videos are actually about where people are in their UX journey and what they are transitioning from. And I loved that people were sharing this with me, so I thought that maybe I would share a bit about my background, my work history, and what actually gave me that push to pursue a new career. My work history is a bit of a mosaic. At first glance on a resume, it might look a little crazy, all over the place, but it actually has a story. My favorite job that I've had so far was actually as an ESL teacher in South Korea. I did this for 2 years back in, I think it was 2013. And I actually loved it. It was one of the best experiences, but it's not for everybody. It can be hard because you are moving to a foreign country where you don't speak the language and they don't really speak your language. So it can be difficult, but it definitely teaches you adaptability skills, which is very valuable in any field. This job was great because I got to collaborate a lot. I planned a bunch of creative lessons, and my main job was to find a way to get students interested in learning English, because when you go to a country like Korea, they don't need English to live their regular lives. They speak Korean there. So a lot of the students aren't actually motivated to learn English. So it was my job as the foreign English teacher to make it fun, to make it exciting, and to intrigue the students and get them interested in the English language. After I lived in Korea, I actually moved to Australia for a bit. I did some customer service and sales, but then when I came home to Canada, I worked as a training center manager for a corporate training company. So essentially what my job was to do was to take care of all of the students that came into the facility to take courses. I always described my role there as the firefighter. So anytime there was a crisis, overbooking, people being lost, courses being canceled, any type of emergency, I was the go-to person. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm the wisest person in the world, but I have had a lot of aha moments in my life, and I just wanted to share some of those moments so that I could help motivate you to keep on your journey to change your career. And one of them was I was working for an airline in Canada, and I found that the job became so mundane for me, and it was not mentally stimulating enough that I got to the point where I started thinking to myself, you know, when you're born, you technically start moving towards your death. And what I thought about a lot when I was in this job was I was so bored that I felt like I was doing nothing but standing around, the clock was ticking, and I was just dying. And that sounds very morbid, but the moral of this story is that you should never spend time in a job where all you're doing is looking at the clock, feeling like you're wasting your time and not doing anything. Because time is precious and you can never really get it back. So if you ever get to the point where you feel that way when you're in a role, it's time to say goodbye and to move on. One of the other aha moments that I had in one of my jobs was I was reading this book called The Happiness Equation, and there was a quote in the book that said, you are the average of the 4 closest people to you, or the other version of this quote is, you are the average of the 4 people that you spend the most time with. And at this time, I was looking around at the people that I was working with, the colleagues that I was spending all of my time with, and I found that they were not people that I would want to aspire to. And so I thought to myself, if I'm the average of these people, then there's nothing much to say about who I am either. And in a way, I didn't want to be associated with them. I'm not trying to say that they're not good enough or they're stupid or anything like that, but they just weren't where I see myself. And so I needed to remove myself from that environment and that group of people and move myself towards a group of people that I did aspire to. And that's what I did during the pandemic. You know, I joined volunteer groups, I joined a mentorship program, I became involved with people that are really serious about their career because I also wanted to be that way. So I'm realizing that I actually have way more to talk about than I realized, and this video is going on way too long, so I'm gonna cut it into parts, and part 2 will be posted next week, and there I will discuss briefly about how I discovered UX, what I did at the very beginning, and what motivated me to actually push ahead and pursue this career. Alright everyone, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe, share your stories, and share the video. See you next time, guys. Bye!